Alright, so my mic isn't working. Let's piss it off. Anyway, we're gonna have to roll with what we have. Ain't got infinite resources. No, it just needs... I have a bastardized adapter on it. Let's actually just take it off and look. There's no point having it in there because that can work. So that's the biggest problem. I have an adapter that goes to my lightning to a receiver. It don't work. But that's what happens in big time auto racing. Anyway, tonight, seen the Bloomington. Friday night, this is Paragon the next day on Saturday. We had Josh's Wampa of a... I just said Wampa. Josh is very, very sharp. It wasn't a 12 by 12. I think it's a 12B or something, but it's a Don Ott, so she goes. Apparently, her previous life was a wing motor at Lincoln. Not Lincoln Park, the Lincoln in Pennsylvania. That's a big Pennsylvania track, so I guess it's their short track motor, but it's probably bigger than any track out here other than Terre Haute. Anyway, we made a plan just to need to tame her down, and I come in, as I said, I'm like, I need to take timing out or horsepower or something. I'm like, I cannot hang on. Gets off, and I did say about throttle control, but I'd get off and I'd like ease into her and just go, what? Like something like that. There you go, get that slow mode for the haters or whatever. We had to make a game plan. I didn't really want to take too much spark out of it and timing. Like Jimmy suggested, let's try a bigger exhaust and a muffler. We went the Sprint Car Standard, which is this one. So I explained in the video, this is a nice freshie set from our Australian friends at P1. You can see the worlds right here. And that's where it goes from 1.7 diameter to 2 inch. So that's standard sprint car. So it all is, I don't know the ins and outs, but I've never screwed with it on the dyno, but I think it's just pretty much airspeed. And because you gotta think it's not a constant flow going through there, it's like a real frequency driven flow, and everything's bouncing everywhere, and it's not really a laminar. They're pulses, that's the best way to describe it. I think it just has the airspeed quick enough to get through and then slows down where it needs to and does all that. I'm just guessing this pissing in the wind. Someone correct me about it. So the pipes we ran on the 77 that night, those ones. It might be hard to see. I mean, I have to get up and measure, but I think they're 2 inch headed, or maybe 2 1/8, but they've got a real short distance from the collector to the muffler, and it's got Knoxville mufflers on it, so that's 40 horsepower going right there, at least with those anyway. But so you're taking power out with the tube diameter, everything sort of slows down, and you're also taking power out with Knoxville muffler. But anyway, long story short, there was no seams on that, so it's a straight 2 inch pipe. In the car, it felt way more doughy, and it changed the whole, like if you put two motors and didn't tell me which one they were, and they were the same motor and they just had different pipes on it, I could tell you like they just feel completely different. It, yeah, changed the whole motor dynamic completely. You can tell why you need a dyno tune them to get them right, even for the muffler and non-muffler tracks. But drove real torquey at the bottom now. It didn't, but I think it just lazied the delivery of the torque, because I think when you delay the delivery, it actually feels a bit more torquey because the tires can keep up. When you have too much torque, it just wants to blow the tires off. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling about exhaust pipes. It's cool stuff, like a lot of guys detune, and that's what we had to do just to get a drivable program. And that was the sort of one of the things we wanted to help Josh with, is get something drivable for him. And yeah, anyway, he's Paragon. I missed qualifying. I must have turned the camera on and it went flat or something. I don't remember what happened. He's qualifying. Let's see how it goes. I think we do pretty decent.
You can get it to bite on the bottom 1 and 2, you'll be good.
What?
If it bites on the bottom 1 and 2, that's where Kinzer and Trey ran.
So it can't move up, is it too wet or dirty or something?
But it's like, Jordan got it to bite on the bottom, but you can't really go after him. And, well, it's Trey did. Trey
How'd the start go?
Good. I mean...
Was it top or up?
Yeah, kinda. I mean...
Red flag in the air, red flag in the air. Car up and over the bank of turn 3 and 4. Todd Hobson with the car tightened up, front wheels optional, as he hardly needs them in that 77 machine. Checkered flag gonna fly. with a 14.928. 14.928. The Wingo Racing 77 of Todd Hobson climbs to the top of your leaderboard in tonight's qualifying.
Alright, so we're going to start from the start. Here at Paragon tonight, didn't get the camera on for qualifying, the heat race, but here's the heat race quickly. That's pretty much what I introduced it to. It's a good heat, start 4, let's see how it goes.
On the inside, we see Todd Hobson on the outside. Hobson going to work down on the back of the 1H machine, running in fourth. We see the 75 leading that first lap. That's Devin Myers out of Delphi, Indiana. Hobson moves up into that second spot, but not uncontested by the 24 machine of Lee Underwood. Hobson with the full head of steam down the front stretch. We see him take that Wingo Brothers 77 machine down deep into turns 1 and 2, making the pass on Devin Myers.
Trying to get the thing off the rear tires is what I call it. It's really boggy in the middle of the corner, and I'm just trying to pretty much in 1 and 2 go wherever the car wants to keep my low revs up, or I'll stall. Win there, car feels good. So in America you don't have to run mufflers, but sometimes at non-wing you don't want a lot of power and you want to smooth your torque curve out. We were getting too much power at once with this car to just blow the tyres off and become a handful. I'll show you the headers if I can see it. So we're actually running a bigger diameter header pipe, and it's actually pretty short to the collector and then to a Knoxville muffler. So that just makes the car a little lazy. I'm actually taking probably 40 to 70, I don't know how much it is, we didn't dyno it, but with 2 inches is off standard, which is into 7/8 diameter pipe. Sort of robs a bit more power and smoothens the car up. It actually is super drivable, but it's a bit lazy right now, but it's better now. But I'd rather have than a motor I can't actually keep under the tires. So we made the feature, drew third, so third. How we
weird why they're cutting it like that.
Huh?
It's weird why they're cutting it like that.
You say it's good?
It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand what they're doing.
Maybe it's something all leaked on it or something. I don't know.
I mean, there was a hole forming it on entry.
Oh,
I don't think that's.
Probably made it worse.
I don't know why that's why they do it now. They should have done it earlier if they're going to do anything.
Killing isn't the answer.
All right.
Okay.
the 77. Back on the haunches is the 77 of Todd Hobson. He's going to keep it around the hub. Max Adams going to go high, wide, and handsome. Carry that momentum down the backstretch. 41 of Ricky Lewis right on the tail tank of the 77 of Hobson. Lewis going to slip the grip. Up on the cushion he goes. Down the front stretch. First lap going to give it to Max Adams. 77 of Hobson second. And we have one up and over. Wild, wild ride. Max Adams going to bring us back to green, followed by the 77 of Hobson, the 6T of Trey Osborne, the 41 of Ricky Lewis. Jordan Kinzer in the 75 bikes it up on the exit of turn number 2. Going to have to regain his momentum down the backstretch and around the high side of turns 3 and 4. 71B of Braxton Cummins making some wholesale moves there off the high side of turn number 2. 23 of Max Adams checking out on the rest of the field here. You see the car kind of bike up, upset the balance. Max able to collect it and hang on. The 6T of Trey Osborne runs in second. The 77 of Todd Hobson runs in third. The 41 of Ricky Lewis running in fourth. And the 24M of Hunter Maddox in fifth. Max Adams with a commanding lead in that 23 machine, out in front by a straightaway over the 6T of Trey Osborne, the 77 about 5 or 6 car lengths back to him, 8 or 10 car lengths the distance back to the 41 of Lewis. Meanwhile, the rest of the pack has good racing throughout. The 71 of Braxton Cummins, the 24M of Hunter Maddox, and the 75 of Jordan Kinzer battling it out for that 4th, 5th, and 6th spot. See Vermillion on the inside of the 71B of Braxton Cummins. Vermillion trying to work that bottom side of the Paragon Speedway.
So the entrance too slick on the very bottom of 3 and 4, which I can't hit, and I'm probably not tight enough to hit it, and I'm really tight on the cushion in 3 and 4, so we're sort of fighting right now.
Racing throughout the rest of the pack, we see the 33 of Jake Scott beginning to reel in the 78 of Rob Cahoe Jr. as Jake Scott works that high line off the exit of turn number 2. Hobson beginning to reel in the 6T of Trey Osborne for that 2nd spot. Todd not within striking distance, but he is closing the gap. Meanwhile, a straightaway back to the 4th spot of Ricky Lewis in the 41 out of Camarillo, California. Following Ricky's the 75 of Jordan Kinzer and the 71 of Braxton Cummins. 24M of Hunter Maddox pulls up on the inside of turn number 2 on the 71 of Braxton Cummins, but Cummins able to motor down the backstretch, staying ahead of that 24M machine. We see Rob Cahoe with a misstep in turn 3 and 4, able to recollect the car. Get it back underneath him and power down the front stretch. Car's barreling off into turns 3 and 4. As Max Adams comfortably ahead by a half of a track. We see Todd Hobson and Trey Osborne wheel to wheel on the backstretch. Hobson's going to try to dive off the top side to reel in the 6T. Not able to get the job done this time by, but we see the 6T right up on the berm. Hobson over the cushion on the exit turn number 2. Max Adams in heavy lap traffic as he's found the middle of the back of the pack. Max Adams with a wild ride here just a few days ago. Back strapped into his machine. laps the distance. The 23 with a commanding lead over the rest of the field. The closest car to the 23 of Max Adams is the 6T of Trey Osborne. Trey Osborne has closed the gap now to within 2 car lengths. Still holding on to that lead is Max Adams. Comfortably holding on to that spot is the 6T of Trey Osborne, followed by the 77 of Todd Hobson.
I've tried like every approach through 1 and 2 now just to get through that curb, but I just cannot get on it without trying to get the wheel spun up, and I just can't get it spun up in that part of the rev range. So it's just a little tricky right now, but we're managing.
Throwing sod to God off of every corner, folks. It's the 23 machine of Max Adams. Your final 2 laps for tonight's Buckeye Outlaw Sprint Car Series, and we are green. Flag in the air. Max Adams continuing to open up his lead. Todd Hobson making moves on the inside, making the pass for the 2nd spot. Trey Osborne shuffled back to 3rd. Trey's going to throw the slider. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. It is wheel-to-wheel racing. Ricky Lewis going to slip in there and claim that 3rd spot. Trey Osborne going to finish 4th. Jordan Kinzer 5th. Braxton Cummins 6th. Fantastic racing throughout the field. Car, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Loomis, California, Max Adams. Hey, Speedway Victory Lane.
I was just tight when that curb come in.
Huh?
The motor wouldn't pull out the curb.
Yeah, but what you were doing in 3 and 4 worked great. Yeah, it was just down here. Yeah, no.
So there you have it, another 2nd. That was pretty neat. It was cool starting back on pole. I mean, old mate blew it in there and spun out and crashed, so I technically started pole. I wish I got a better start. I didn't realize I felt the bottom out, and I thought that might have been the place to be on the start, but just the top line does prevail, and I do know that at Paragon, I've been lucky on the right side of that most of the time, but that time we're on the wrong side, and Max was definitely the car to beat, so we just stuck in and did what we had to do, and got a solid 2nd on the last lap there. I had the opportunity. I couldn't get the tire pulled out of the curb just because of how we had it detuned, and it was like your foot is stuck in like something real sticky, and it's hard to pull out. That's what it felt like when I hit the cushion. Like it wanted to get out, but then just like sort of bog in it, and it wasn't like a bog of all loss of power. It ended up laboring. Yeah, can't hang our heads on that. Another motor in 2 weeks. So yeah, anyway, that's a good night. Another 2nd. So 2 seconds in a row. I think we're at Paragon now with this, and yeah, the first 2nd you didn't see because I didn't have the cameras on. We're gonna get stuck back into it. Not sure what the next one is, but just keep an eye out.